Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Parker, I cover transgender news. In this video, I am going to talk about ways that Republicans and the MAGA cult exploit ignorance. And I'm going to explain all of this because I know there are some people that are busy, don't have time to pay attention to the news 24/7. So these are... Exploiting ignorance is a tactic from Republicans that the Republican Party has always used. And I want to define exploiting for people who don't know. So to exploit something is to use it and take a benefit from it. And whoever or whatever you are taking from does not benefit from the situation. So we're going to talk about the main tactics Republicans use to lead. The first thing, they lead through fear, insecurity, and anger. So Republicans tap into deep-seated fears such as immigration, crime, social change, instead of having a factual understanding of legislative bills and economic models. So, in other words, MAGA is a base that is unified by their fears and not their common beliefs in policy. Many red state Republicans do not have the education to be making informed decisions on voting. So Republicans are taking advantage of the uneducated masses through things like fear, insecurity, and anger. They also lead through nostalgia. You see this with Donald Trump saying, make America great again. They're trying to push to bring America back to a time where white people didn't have to worry about things like racism, homophobia, and transphobia. So they are given permission to not understand the complexities of our modern society and our modern global economy. And this only perpetuates the fears of other races, fears of other genders, fears of other sexualities, other religions, etc. So they are basically wanting to erase the entire civil rights movement from the 60s to the 80s. When black and brown people got equal right protections, gay and trans people got equal rights protections. We had freedom of religion in this country. So when they say make America great again, they're talking about the civil rights movement. So the next thing is considered to be the most dangerous tactic of Republicans, and that is leading through misinformation, disinformation, and conspiracy theories. So the way they do this, Republicans will steadily provide inaccurate, wrong information through media like Fox News, Newsmax, and social media. There are many right-wing media creators that are claiming to be independent but are being paid by either Israel or some Christian nationalist organizations, rich billionaires, etc. That is not independent news, obviously. But this causes the Republican followers to rely on their bias when they're evaluating their politics. So some recent talking points we've seen in the last few years, especially with Donald Trump, that are inaccurate, wrong, or disinformation, calling trans women men. This is a lie. There are transgender people all over the world. We exist no matter what Donald Trump says or does. Another example, saying the left are enemies from within. This is not true. The left and the right are both American. They labeled the No Kings protest a Hate America rally. If you actually saw news coverage or went to this protest, these are people who love America and want to protect American life. Another example is Nancy Mace going on TV and blaming trans people for the murder of Charlie Kirk. It was a complete lie. Another example, Republicans blaming Democrats for the government shutdown. Republicans are controlling the House, the Senate, the White House. So to blame Democrats for this situation is completely false. They know they're in charge. They know that Democrats are trying to protect healthcare, including healthcare for MAGA and red states. So these conspiracy theories and disinformation, they allow the Republican Party to avoid accountability. And they do that by distracting from the truth. So you'll notice all the time, Republicans are never held accountable for lying. It's because this is a tactic. They are lying so fast and so often that people just can't keep up. And they start to depend on the biases that they've been fed and talking points that they've been fed on things like Fox News, instead of focusing on real, actual, true information. And the last tactic that I want to talk about is the partisan loyalty, which we are seeing right now to a degree that we have never seen in America. In the Trump regime and many other Republican administrations, loyalty is more important than anything else. They expect loyalty from all of their followers. However, the leader is not expected to be loyal to the followers. Even when supporting Republicans contradicts their values or economic self-interest, meaning they will follow and support Republican leaders even if it's hurting them, which is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing some really, really extreme examples of this. So some examples of this right now is what Trump has done to our farming economy. These farmers, most of them voted for Trump twice. So I hate to say it, but these people are directly responsible for what happened to them. They hurt themselves by supporting Trump. And they are learning that now the hard way by going bankrupt and losing everything. Red state voters right now are losing food stamps. They're losing Social Security. They're losing cash assistance programs. They're losing health insurance. There was about 20 million people cut from health insurance. They're destroying the education department. So red states already have terrible education systems, and these choices that have been made recently are going to result in less education in the least educated parts of America. Another example, Trump ran his campaign on promises to lower food costs. Now, after he's been president 10 months, you go into the grocery store, prices are higher, but Trump is on TV saying, I've lowered prices. Obviously, that's a lie, but his followers are so loyal, they believe whatever he says. Even they're visually seeing the prices are higher in the store. So that is, their ignorance has been exploited.